That's right, everybody, I'm back. Now, I'm gonna admit it took a little bit longer to come back than I thought. I'm a small YouTuber, so basically when I finish one project, I have to sell that project to fund the next project. And I'm gonna be honest, it took a little bit longer than I was hoping to sell the M3. But the M3 is gone, it's in a new home, and in this episode, I get to show you guys my new project. So let's check it out. All right, and here's the new project car.
Now this is a 2008 Subaru Impreza WRX STi, 305 horsepower flat 4 turbocharged engine, 6-speed manual with all-wheel drive and a driver-controlled center differential with 120,000 miles on the clock.
Now overall the car is not in bad condition. It is a 2008. I am not a fan of how the 2008 front bumper looks, but that will be an easy replacement to update it to the facelift version. So that is going to be a future project, but I got it because I had to get a hatchback and it had to be in World Rally Blue. As far as the condition of the exterior, again, it's not too bad, especially for how old this car is. We do have some light wear on the front headlights, so hopefully that'll be an easy fix. They also make some aftermarket headlights that look pretty good in my opinion, so we'll see if I want to replace it or just kind of, clean these up. Again, the paint is in pretty decent condition. We do have some dents here on the side of the car. That'll have to be paintless dent removal. It does bother me, but again, that should be a relatively simple fix and hopefully not too expensive. The door handles also have some peeling clear coat, and then also on top of the spoiler, we do have some peeling clear coat as well, but those should be relatively easy to handle. Not too big of a paint project because, they're small pieces that will come off, so we can take care of that relatively easily. There's also some clear bra on the car, not as bad as the M3 was. The wheels, I think the stock wheels look pretty good, but I am planning on getting some new wheels. But until then, these wheels are pretty good. The tires are not in the best condition. There is a little bit of dry rot, even though there is some tread left. And I think the passenger front here has a slow leak because it doesn't seem to be holding air. And since these are all seasons, especially once I hit the track, I'm gonna wanna get something a little bit stickier. The brakes are in pretty decent condition. Don't have to replace them super soon, but again, before I hit the track, those are going to get swapped out. And I also want to repaint these calipers. They are looking pretty worn out. Also, all the STi badges around the car are fading, so I'm going to want to replace those eventually as well, just to make the car look a little nicer. Even though I liked the hatchback STIs, what I really hated are these clear chromy taillights, but those are easy fixes, and all you need is a little bit of vinyl to take care of that. Exhaust is stock, so it's super quiet, so we'll be getting a new exhaust somewhere down the road. But yeah, overall, the exterior of the car is pretty clean and in pretty decent condition. Again, just the front bumper we're going to swap out, but I am happy with how decent the exterior is. So let's go ahead and hop into the interior. All right, so moving on into the interior, first and most noticeable thing is the shifter. Pretty sure there's gonna be some bushings that need to get replaced because when the car is in first gear, it's almost like it's in neutral. It's pretty bad. It's actually really bad to drive. Almost undrivable, really, in my opinion. So that's gonna be one of the first things that we are gonna have to address. As far as the trim goes, overall, it's not too bad. We have some gaps here and there. We also have some pretty worn plastic on the door handles, and the carpet on the driver's side has a big hole in it. The car is also covered in these air fresheners and it smells like an AutoZone. The e-brake boot also has a hole in it, and the air vent probably gonna have to get super glued back together. Overall, the seats aren't in super bad condition, but they're not great either. The driver's seat is pretty worn in. There's one tiny little rip, but hopefully with some reconditioning, we can get the seats looking a little bit better. The car also comes with a rear view mirror with HomeLink, but we have a little bit of exposed wire, and it's also not really secured well. The car comes with a stock stereo, which I'm gonna have to replace almost immediately because I literally can't drive without a rear backup camera anymore. But it is a 6 CD changer, which I think is still pretty cool. Overall, the steering wheel is in pretty good condition, but I think I'm gonna do another steering wheel wrap just like I did with the E46 M3. That really turned out good, and it really changes the steering wheel a lot, so I think I'm gonna do the same kind of treatment for the STi. And also the car's interior is pretty dirty, so I'm gonna have to give it a very good cleaning because I don't know what's been going on here for 15 years. But as far as things wrong with the interior, that's pretty much as far as it goes. Overall, not too bad, but still a lot of work to do. All right, so in the engine bay, at first glance, there really doesn't look like there's too much wrong with it. The intercooler is a bit banged up, but hopefully we can bend some of these fins back, and maybe down the road when we seek some power gains, we can get another intercooler, bigger, thicker. The power steering pump was replaced by the dealer that I bought it from. Unfortunately, I paid a lot for it. Probably could have did it way cheaper myself, but power steering pump has been replaced. Although there is a line down here that I can already see a hose cracking, so I'm gonna have to probably replace this hose, but I mean, nothing too bad. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Doesn't really seem to be any oil leaks or anything like that I can see at first glance. But let's go ahead and dive into the maintenance history of this car just to see what we will have to replace and if anything else needs to be done.
So, looking at the Carfax report, the history of the car looks good. What looks like frequent visits to the dealership for scheduled maintenance is a good sign it was probably well taken care of. Now, the used dealer lot I bought the car from sent me this photo of an apparent recent service of the car.
All right, guys, quick update, and you're gonna love this. So apparently that receipt that the used car dealership gave me was not actually a receipt, it was a list of things that need to be done to the car. Now, I don't know what kind of misunderstanding was going on, but basically he let me believe this entire time that it was a receipt of things that was already done. So, turns out we actually have a lot more work ahead of us.
So you can see about $3,000 worth of stuff that needs to be done to the car. And after inspecting the car myself in more detail when I got it home, this is not even all of it. But at least they overcharged me for replacing the power steering pump, so I got that going for me. The ones that stand out though are the valve cover leaks, front crank seal, timing belt, and oil cooler hoses. Awesome. I'm also going to need to do regularly scheduled maintenance stuff like transmission and diff fluid, oil changes, etc.
Now, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see how the car progresses through my build. Now, with the aftermarket support that an STi has and the stock car that I got, I really do think that this car is a beautiful blank canvas to build what I have up here, which is going to be a really cool OEM++ build, something that's a little bit subtle, not too gaudy, but will definitely turn heads. Now, I am really excited about this car because this is definitely a car that I'm thinking about keeping a little bit more longer term than I did with the Miata or the M3, as long as the engine doesn't blow up. Leave a comment down below at what mileage you think the engine's gonna blow up on this thing. But as always, thanks for watching the video. I'm excited again for this build. I hope to see you on the journey the entire way. Thanks for watching.